Hey y'all, it's me. It's Lost for Words with Lori. I'm going to try something different today. It is Wednesday. I think it's September the 7th, actually. So we're going to try this video thing because I got this really cool gadget for my car that allows me to talk and do stuff in my car. And I thought I would try and get my thoughts out while I drove to work. We'll see how that goes. I've had a couple of people tell me they would rather see my face than just listen to my voice, but I guess that's on them. I think I still have a face for radio. But yeah, so I hope everybody's doing okay. My last podcast was a little different. We talked about toxic cesspool world and that kind of thing, and you know, I kind of started using my platform as kind of a video diary of healing for me. And it's crazy how when you start talking to people about your own journey and your own path and how you're trying to heal from trauma, that you start understanding the human condition a little bit better, a little bit different. And people come to you and they bring stuff to you and they talk to you about their own stuff. And I mean, we're all guilty of that, right? I mean, you become confidants and you become friends with people by proxy, and they're along on their journey with you. And you learn from each other. You learn from other people's triumphs, other people's agonies. And it's crazy. And, you know, the people that I'm really close to in my first world now, I've talked to people before. We all get the participation trophy for trauma, right? I mean, none of us had it easy growing up, especially us Gen Xers, and, you know, life was different back then, but we all experience trauma, and then we learn and we grow from that trauma. And some people never get to a point where they can accept their past and move forward and deal with it. And, you know, when I lost Toby and he died, I made a really strong point to not make the same mistakes that I did in my past. And as I'm learning and growing, the people around me are learning and growing with me. And that's a fact. People are going to understand because you talk to your friends and you explain what you're going through and how that affects you. And they start to understand and learn and hopefully grow too. And I found that with a lot of the people that I'm close to, is that they understand that, you know, they're unhappy with their situation or something's going on in their world, and they're not wanting to do that thing anymore, and they want to get better. They want to be like me, a better version of themselves. And shit happens, man. Life happens, and some of the most horrible, traumatic things will happen, and it knocks you down into the dirt, and you go, what the fuck, you know? Is this what my life is supposed to be about? You know, starting over again after, you know, just getting on your feet. And how do you do that? How do you become a better version of yourself, you know? And people will come and talk to you about their stuff, and your heart just breaks for them, because you recognize, because for me, I recognize other people's behavior or the situations that are toxic that they're in because I've experienced it, and I'm trying to share my knowledge from my experience with other people and hopefully give them a perspective or a sense of, I can do this, or I can better my lot in life, or I'm not happy with this and I can change these things in my world. And it just breaks my heart because, you know, when you're in a situation where you see somebody else being self-destructive, or, you know, crying out for help, or they're in a bad relationship, or their parents treat them like garbage, you know, and they're trying to define their own life, and you go, hey, you know, I've been through that, and you try to give advice. I mean, disclaimer, I'm not a therapist. I have no professional degree, nothing, but life has been my teacher. And I've been through a fucking hell of a lot of trauma in my life that's shaped and established, you know, me and who I am and my responses to that. And not all of it's been positive. But I've worked really hard to try to learn and understand why I do the things that I do, because of the things that have happened in my past. And, hopefully my experience will help other people, I don't know, empower them, I guess, to better their own situation, where you try to tell people, no, you don't have to just lay down and accept that this is what life handed you and you're just doomed to deal with and accept that. But it's hard. It's really hard, and I feel for people. I feel for my friends. I feel for my acquaintances. I feel for people who are struggling and are lost and are confused and are unhappy with what life has handed them. And lately my whole attitude has been, well, if you're unhappy with what life is giving you, then you gotta fix that. And the only person who can do that is you. And it looks different for other people. Some people have a strong enough support system where they can get good feedback and do better with that. I needed therapy. I needed a professional, grief counseling is no fucking joke. I'm telling you right now. There are days where I am just a puddle of fucking crybaby in my chair because my grief overtakes me. And without therapy, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. I'd probably be out torching everything, self-destructive behavior, But I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to be better. And being better for me meant figuring out who I was and what made me happy. I don't know what makes me happy by myself. I've never done it before. And that's terrifying. And I know it's terrifying for a lot of other people, but, at what point do we go, you know what, I've made a lot of mistakes and I'm human and it's not fair that what happened to me, but I don't get to treat other people poorly just because, Toby's dead and I'm scared. But I see a lot of people, especially in toxic cesspool world, doing that. They take all of their own baggage and then they project it on all these people, and it justifies the way that they treat people, and it makes me so angry. Because, I could have been that person, man. I could have been that person who said, well, it's not fair, Toby's dead, and now I can just go around and terrorize everybody and treat him like shit. But that's not me. I don't want to be an asshole. I don't want to be that person. I want to be a better version of me. I want to help people. I want to treat people the way I want to be treated. I don't want people to walk all over me and treat me like an asshole. And I don't think anybody else should have to take that kind of behavior either. But it just breaks my heart. It breaks my heart to have good-hearted people who are just trying to live their best life or do the best that they can to change or pick up the pieces or own their mistakes, get repeatedly beat down by other people who just want to control and hurt because they're too afraid to face their own past traumas and deal from, whatever is causing them to be the way that they are. I'm terrified. I'm fucking scared. And, I didn't want to be alone. I was supposed to fucking get married in 2 weeks. We were supposed to get married. I was going to live my best life with my partner. And that got stolen from me. But does that mean that I'm going to go find a new person and, project all of that onto them? Well, I expect you to do this for me because, my shit was taken from me. And a lot of people try to do that. I didn't have a perfect childhood. I was poor. I didn't grow up with all of the things that I tried to give my children. But I'm not taking it out on everybody around me. And then using it as an excuse to keep digging up other people's past and throwing it in their face and trying to make them look better than me. I'm a fucking flawed human, man. And I'm an asshole sometimes, and I hurt people's feelings. But at the end of the day, call me out on my shit. Tell me I hurt your feelings. I'm not going to be like, well, I hurt your feelings because you did this or that. I'm going to be like, I'm sorry I did that. Now tell me how I can not do that anymore. And I don't see anybody doing that anymore. Very few people in this world lately, that I've come across who are willing to take a look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm an asshole. Guys, I'm an asshole. I'll own that shit. But 9 times out of 10, at least my therapist tells me, is I'm more of an asshole to myself than I am to other people. I care so much about everybody else that I don't take time to figure out what is good for me, or what serves me, or what behavior is good for me, or what makes me happy, because I'm so concerned about what makes everybody else fucking happy. And I'm done with that. You know, I have boundaries. I have expectations. And if you want to be my friend, then you got to respect those boundaries. Point blank and simple. And if you can't do that, then nah, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to hang out with you. I don't want to be a part of your crazy fucking circus of chaos. But if you ask my opinion about what you need to do to fix your shit, I'm going to tell you straight up with no bullshit. You know? Don't be a doormat for everybody else around you. And standing up for yourself and taking control of your own life does not a narcissist make. You know how many times I've been accused of being a narcissist? I joke about it. I'm kind of a big deal, you know? Thanks, Derek, right? But it's a humbling experience when you realize that you're not that big of a deal, and that other people's existence, it don't matter whether you live or die. That's a humbling experience. I'm not asking anybody to be my friend, but, you know, people listen to me. They respect me. Why? Because I'm honest, and because I'm authentic about the fact that I'm not fucking perfect. But I'm not running around trying to tell people I'm right and you need to listen to me, and this person's bad and you need to stay away from them. I'm tired of that kind of fucking behavior. And then those of us who take control of our lives and say no more and tell people, go fuck yourself, this is your problem, we get accused of being narcissistic, or we get accused of being full of ourselves, or we think we're right all the time, or we're better than them. No, sorry, I hate to tell you, but last I looked, nobody's the boss of me but me. And I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm trying to live my best life and take those people who are looking to better themselves along for the ride. And everybody around me and us and the people that I'm close to who are jealous of that are throwing juice boxes at us and saying, they're this, that, and the other thing. Well, sorry, try taking a look at yourself in the fucking mirror for 5 minutes and recognize your own bad behavior. Most of these people are self-sabotaging themselves. I'm done with that. I spent a lifetime self-sabotaging myself with my behavior because I was insecure, because I didn't understand, because I was afraid. But I'm not afraid anymore. You know, afraid of what? Being successful? Afraid of having friends? Afraid of being human and transparent with the people that I'm around and going, you know what, I'm vulnerable? You know, if that makes me a pussy, so be it. I'll wear that shit too. But yeah, I'm fucking vulnerable. I'm scared. I don't want to be alone just like anybody else. You know, but I'm also happy to be alone as long as I get to make the choices about what makes me happy, and nobody's dictating that to me. And I find it really disturbing to see people in toxic friendships, toxic relationships, toxic social media, because they're seeking validation outside of themselves. Yeah, at the end of the day, I look in the mirror and I'm not happy. I'm fat, you know, I got a double chin, whatever. I got pimples, but that's on me. But I'm not out treating everybody else bad because I have insecurities about myself. I get to make choices. I get to go on a diet. I get to exercise. I get to eat better and change the things that I don't like about myself. But if I'm going to sit around and cry about it to everybody else and then start pointing out everybody else's flaws because it takes away from me recognizing that I have my own issues that need to be fixed, that kind of makes you a bad person, I think, in my opinion. Again, who am I? I'm nobody. I'm just a girl, a woman who's lost everything and has had to start over multiple times. And I'm just trying to get it right this time. You know? But I'm grateful. And I'm grateful for the people who've stood by me. You know, it hurts. It hurts when people are willing to throw you under the bus just to justify their own behavior. I'm not your doormat, people. I'm not gonna be anybody's doormat. I'm done with that shit. You know, because at the end of the day, I'm better than that. And so are you. You guys are all better than that too. You know, we don't work our lives for our family or our friends or our relationships or our children to have other people come in and kick us when fucking you're down. I'm not surrounding myself with those people. I surround myself with people who are positive, people who have worked really hard to get where they are and are my cheerleader. And they make me laugh and they make me happy. But I don't know where all this is going. I just figured it would be interesting to, I don't know, try it this way. A little one-on-one real talk, lost for words, right? About what I think. But to let you know that you are enough. It doesn't matter what people have told you your whole life, you're enough. You're allowed to have feelings, you're allowed to learn from your mistakes, you're allowed to grow and become a better version of yourself. And at the end of the day, you should surround yourself with people who agree with that concept of life and who aren't going to dismiss how you feel because they're afraid to look at their own actions. You know, that's all. Yeah, I'm a little emotional, but I'm also grateful. So if you sat through this, thank you. Thanks for being my friends. Thanks for being my support. Thanks for being there and listening to my drivel. And at the end of the day, all we can do is just wash our fucking hands, right? And be a good human. So, see y'all next time.